Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So if you're watching this for the first time, my name is Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. I work with individuals and couples, and this is a good exercise that I've taken from the book Dare to Be Happier by Caroline Johnston. So I'm sure that I've probably I've either done a book review about this book or I've mentioned this exercise before, but I'm just going to go into it with a bit more detail. So it's called Improve Romantic Relationships. So sometimes when people are stuck in a rut of just bickering all the time, or there's no connection, or something is going wrong, but they can't figure out why, this is a good idea of just having like a series of questions, and it is literally like reflecting on your relationship but also reviewing things. So I'm just going to go through some of these questions, and you can find them in the book. So the first question is, what patterns in your relationship do you see repeating from your parents' relationship? So when I've worked with couples, sometimes we've looked at one of the things I'll ask them to look at is, how were you parented as a child, or what was some of the things you noticed between your parents? And then they have to then reflect on, are they behaving in the same way in their relationship? It's really sometimes helpful to do that, because all you're doing is reflecting on, are there things that your parents used to do that you're now doing in your relationship with your partner? The next question is, what vows or promises did you make to each other that could be worth revisiting? Sometimes it's worth sitting down and thinking, when we got married, this is what we said we would never do. We'd said we would never argue in front of the children. We said we would always go on date nights. So are there things that you said, but now that you've settled into the relationship, you've stopped doing? So maybe it's worth saying, okay, we can probably put this promise back in place again. The next one is, where are the areas in your relationship where you might be inconsiderate? This is about taking ownership, taking accountability. It's not about beating yourself up or being harsh on yourself, but it is about saying, okay, maybe I'm doing too much of this, or maybe sometimes I could be a bit helpful with this. It's not about complaining. People go on TikTok all the time and all they're doing is complaining about what their partner does. And then the minute someone says to that person, have you spoke to your partner about this? They're like, no, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to get support. And it's kind of like, well, if someone is being inconsiderate and they don't know what they're doing wrong, then it's about talking to them about that. But the other part is taking accountability yourself as well. What could you be doing that could be inconsiderate? Example, complaining about your partner on social media. The fourth one is, what does romantic love look like to you? Describe it. So describing what love looks like, describing what it feels like, is the first step to being able to put that in action. The amount of people I speak to who say, this is the type of relationship I want, but then they don't know what that looks like in person. So they might say, I want a person who is tall, I want a person who's this. But when you say, on a day-to-day basis, what would your relationship look like? What would you be doing together? How would you be talking to each other? Not everyone knows. So that's really important for you to kind of look at that and consider that. The other thing is there baggage from your previous relationships? Are there things that other partners have done in the past that you're bringing into your new relationship? We all probably do it to some degree. I don't think people don't do it, but when you're aware that you're doing that, you then have to question it, reflect on it, and then correct it, because your previous partner has got nothing to do with your current partner. So the more you bring baggage into your new relationship, the worse it's going to be. So it's about like identifying that's what you're doing. The next one is, what are you grateful for in your relationship? And then what do you want more time of in your relationship? So these are sort of similar. Gratitude is just easy. Just say 3 things, that you're grateful for. You're grateful that this person is always there for you. You're grateful that you have a partner who is a good listener. You're grateful that you have someone that you can rely on when you need to talk, and then also, what do you want more of? And you don't need to make a long list, but you could say a few things. So first of all, identify for yourself, what do you need more of? Do you need more quality time with the person? Do you need more sex? Do you need more of this? Do you need more of that? First identify it, then speak to your partner about it. Maybe the thing that you want more of they can't give to you, so then you have to compromise again, then you have to reflect again. But it's worth identifying it. And the final one is, what do you think matters to your partner? What are their dreams and ambitions? Sometimes when we're in a relationship with someone, we forget that the things they said on the first date, the things they said on the first few dates. I'm quite good at listening, like on dates, because then it makes me understand the person. So when I'm in the relationship with them, if they've told me that they love to travel, or one day they want to, run $1 billion business or whatever it is, if they're just saying that on the first date, when we then get together, I'll kind of review and reflect with them. Do you still want to, run a business? Do you still want to do that? Is there anything I can do to help you with that? So it's really important to understand what your partner's dreams are, what their ambitions are, what they want in life. Because if you're not in alignment with what they want, that could also cause issues in a relationship later down the line. So let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks for watching. Bye.